Coming up on OU Nightly, severe weather chances for some Oklahomans.
New developments on the deadly semi-truck crash. And get ready to give back. OU's annual Giving Day is underway. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Sydney Wallace.
And I'm Bailey Coyle. We begin tonight with the potential severe weather hitting us tomorrow.
OU Nightly meteorologist Eli Millard has the timeline. Eli?
Yeah, severe weather chance for some folks tomorrow, and here it is. Here's our storm system hanging out in South Dakota, even bringing some wraparound snow for portions of Montana. And here we have that tailing dry line just below that low pressure system. It's actually firing up some showers in the Texas Panhandle and the Oklahoma Panhandle, but nothing severe like we'll see tomorrow. And then check this out. This low pressure system in the southeastern United States, that's bringing all that rain to Fort Lauderdale and even some tornado warnings in Georgia. But going back into Oklahoma, that marginal risk for tomorrow, very conditional. We do have a lid on our atmosphere tomorrow, so that'll prevent storms from firing up unless we break that cap. Coming up in weather, we do have some fire danger for our western counties, severe weather risk for Oklahoma, and we're tracking another storm system going into next week. Ladies?
Thanks, Eli. A semi-truck driver is facing manslaughter charges following a deadly crash on I-35. 2 people are dead after a semi-truck crashed into stopped traffic yesterday, striking a passenger car, going over that car and then into another semi. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says Tony and Warmadoo was driving the semi-truck and is now being charged with 2 counts of manslaughter. Troops say the driver received a ring notification that a delivery was made at his residence. According to official documents, the driver communicated through the app before noticing traffic was stopped. Investigators say that he also smoked marijuana before starting at work around 8 that morning. They also tell us the driver was treated at a hospital before being arrested.
Oklahoma State Court of Appeals denies a recent appeal for a death row inmate convicted of killing an OU ballerina 26 years ago. Anthony Sanchez was found guilty of murdering 21-year-old Julie Baskin back in 1996. Police say the OU student disappeared from her apartment before being found dead on the shore of Lake Stanley later that day. Sanchez says his father was the real killer. However, DNA evidence disproves his claim.
The ATF is investigating a car that was found in an auto shop with explosive devices last night. An employee noticed something was suspicious when going to work on the car and then asked for help. Investigators say the Tulsa Bomb Squad removed 10 explosives from the car without setting them off. Officers are praising the employee who reported it, as the bombs could have gone off. No arrests have been made at this time, but officers do know who owns the car.
The FBI has made an arrest in connection to leaked U.S. military documents. Spencer Plato has that and the rest of today's national headlines from the News Center.
A 21-year-old member of the Massachusetts Air National Guard is now in federal custody after investigators say he leaked classified U.S. military documents. The documents were posted to a social media platform popular with video gamers known as Discord. Documents included in the leak detailed assessments of allies and adversaries, including Russia's war in Ukraine. San Francisco police arrest the suspect in the deadly stabbing of Cash App founder Bob Lee. Earlier this afternoon, police identified the suspect as 38-year-old Nima Momini. The San Francisco police chief says the two knew each other but provided no further details. The suspect is now being held at the San Francisco County Jail on a murder charge. The Fort Lauderdale airport is staying closed until tomorrow morning after severe flooding in southern Florida. The city experienced one of the rainiest days in history yesterday with more than 2 feet of rainfall within 24 hours, which caused major problems for roadways and runways. Fort Lauderdale airport crews are working to restore partial operation on one side of the runway, but fear more rain is on the way. Bailey, Sydney, this is a pretty historic event and is considered a 1 in 1,000 year rain event.
Today is Giving Day here on campus, and many organizations, colleges, and clubs are looking for funding for a good reason. We met with many students on campus. Here are some of their thoughts on why they chose OU and why they think you should donate.
Giving Day allows for a lot of the underrepresented or underfunded programs, colleges, and services to get the support that they need.
It helps reunite everyone and make everyone feel like a community. So donations would help that a lot and improve the overall students' life as well.
You know, it's just really, really important that these Native students, especially the at-large citizens, are able to come here and connect with their communities.
For students that maybe are questioning if they'll be able to come to college due to financial reasons, and I don't think anyone should ever not be able to go to college and get an education due to financial reasons.
I was center born, center bred. I had cousins that went here to OU. I remember coming to football games when I was younger. And so as someone who's from Oklahoma, OU is an extended part of my story.
And for the associations there is OU cousins that helped me a lot, to integrate into the community. They would organize events for international students. And thanks to that, I could do a lot of activities and meet a lot of locals.
I chose OU because it's been my dream school. I think since I was a little kid, my family's always been big OU fans, and I've always loved Oklahoma.
That's kind of what OU's about, just being one community, also being able to help each other, things like this, Giving Day, and also to just being able to help your community, and also donations are always welcome. So I think today is definitely a great day, and it definitely shows on campus.
For more information about how you can donate to your organization of choosing, you can visit givesooner.com.
And coming up, how one button can keep you safe.
We have the details on staying out of harm's way while walking at night, and a new drug mix is spreading nationwide.
More on how the Biden administration is reacting after the break. Oklahoma City police say they are seeing a trend when it comes to walkers being hit by vehicles. Caleigh Vargas spoke to officers about how to stay safe while out at night.
Students cross the street daily on campus, often not taking a second to press this button, but doing so could save your life. Since the beginning of 2023, there have been at least 7 deaths in the OKC metro as a result of cars hitting pedestrians crossing or walking in the road. And most of them have one thing in common. They happened while it was dark outside.
Of those that we've seen hit this year and either killed or nearly killed, most have been wearing dark clothing, whether they're on a bicycle or on foot.
With an estimated 72% of serious injury-related accidents happening at night, it's important to take precautions when out.
So when I'm running, I turn the flashlight on my phone so that I have a moving light on me, as well as wearing either a headlamp or a little wrist lamp.
And while it may seem important for drivers to stay attentive while driving, you should be paying attention if you are to cross the street at any time.
Believe it or not, people oftentimes will just walk across the street. They're looking at their phone. They don't pay any attention.
Safety goes both ways whenever it comes to rules of the road, so drivers need to take careful too. To help drivers see you, police encourage you to wear brightly lit clothes and use crosswalks, especially when walking at night. Reporting live from Lindsay Street, Caleigh Vargas, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Carly. A new dangerous drug is contributing to the country's opioid crisis. Snowforth has that in today's Health Beat.
That's right, Bailey. The Biden administration is declaring an emergency threat on a new drug mix spreading across the U.S. The mix includes fentanyl cut with xylazine, an animal tranquilizer. According to officials, the deadly mix is at an alarming increase. This is the first time any administration has declared a substance to be an emerging threat to the country. In Oklahoma, health leaders are encouraging everyone to get tested for any sexually transmitted infections. According to health experts, STIs are very common, especially in younger people. If caught early, doctors say infections can be treated. For free, confidential testing, you can schedule an appointment at any county health department in the state. In its largest multi-state settlement yet, E-cigarette maker Juul Labs is paying $462 million to 6 states and D.C. The company has been accused of contributing to the rise of vaping among youth. Now, Juul products will be secured behind counters at retailers, and purchasers' ages must be verified. The company will also have to stop using people under 35 years old in marketing. And just last year, Oklahoma received $9 million in its settlement with Juul Labs over similar claims. Back to you.
Thanks, No. Coming up, a horse ranch is back on its feet.
Learn how a community came together to rebuild after the devastating February tornado. And what severe weather are we looking at this weekend, Eli?
Yeah, there's severe weather risk for tomorrow, as well as a risk for wildfires tonight. I'll tell you who's at risk coming up. Well, welcome back to OU Nightly. Thanks for joining us. Looking absolutely incredible outside. Students walking to and from class. 79 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Pretty dry out. Dew point looking at 48. But look, like I said, not a cloud in the sky. Pretty clear throughout all of Oklahoma. We're right along that dry line out west. We're seeing some cloud cover develop out towards our west. Current temperatures outside, we're looking at 70s pretty much, even pushing some 80s out in far western Oklahoma, even a 90 or 2 in the Panhandle. And wind gusts looking kind of the same. The Panhandle looking much more extreme, seeing wind gusts pushing 45 miles an hour. A little calmer here in Norman, we're looking at about 16 miles an hour. So we do have that risk for wildfires going into western Oklahoma, but it's almost like the drought knows where I-44 is, because you track I-44, if you live east and southeast of it, you're looking good. You need to share some of that with the north and northwestern portions. It's been September 2nd since Guyman has seen over a 1/4 inch of rain. And with that, there's going to be that fire danger that comes with it. We're looking at a high risk for fire danger in Guyman, just northwest of Woodward. Moderate, just pushing western Canadian County, and then Norman just sitting there at that low risk. Now we do have, going into the hour by hour tonight, we're looking at 78 by 4 p.m. We're going to trickle down into the 60s. That wind sitting at south to southeast. And then for that rain chances going into tonight, just along that dry line, we actually already are seeing some showers up there develop, but 30% chance for Guyman. And then those lows, we're looking at 50s across the state, a 59 in Woodward, 56 in Elk City, and a 58 in Lawton. And then going into tomorrow, we're going to heat right back up. That dry line's going to set about right here, and then just behind it, we're going to be sitting a lot warmer, 88 in Woodward. Here in Norman, looking at 79 degrees. Now, like I said, we do have that severe weather risk going into Friday. It's a very conditional environment. We do have the cap in place, a lid on our atmosphere that prevents storms from developing. That's why we're just seeing a marginal risk. But we're expecting more, the cap to break more in north and north central Oklahoma. So I have some rain chances. We're going to stick at 20% just east of that dry line, because something does fire up. It will be severe, but we're looking at just 20% and a higher risk for up there in Enid. Now, air mass forecast, there's that storm system. Here's our storm system that's going to come in, bring in that cooler weather, a little cooler weather, and then warming up for the next couple of weeks. And then we're tracking that next storm system farther in northwestern United States. Now, our 6 to 10 temperature outlook, we're looking above average. And then for precipitation, we're sitting right about average. In New Mexico, they're looking pretty below average. Now, 7-day forecast, we have that transfer for severe weather on Friday. Then we kind of have a quiet pattern coming up. And then going into next week, we do have 3 straight days of chance for rain. But this weekend, looking absolutely phenomenal. Ladies, what's the plans for the weather, or for your plans this weekend?
I know I will be going to the baseball game this weekend, and I'm super excited because the weather will be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take a walk outside, maybe, just relax in the sun.
It's perfect weather for it. There you go.
Well, thanks, Eli. In February, a tornado tore through Norman in its path. Feather Creek Park and Equestrian Center located in Norman. Still recovering from the tornadoes, the park put on a horse show earlier this week, showing the power of friends and community.
But it's the people that stay with you, the people that keep supporting you, and the people that don't let you fall down. That's the most important thing. And as that happens, and as you build that, and then community comes in, you can't fail.
When asked about the future, the owner said the possibilities are endless. OU women's gymnastics is on a hot streak going into nationals.
And they're hoping to bring home another natty ring. Caleigh Jo Hommel has that and more in sports.
And another OU squad is looking to add to its NCAA titles. Find out who else is heading to the championships coming up next in sports. Hello, I'm Caleigh Hommel, and it's time for sports. Number 1 ranked OU women's gymnastics returns to the competition floor tonight. With their eyes on winning back-to-back national championships, head coach KJ Kindler likes the way the event order sets up for her team.
Our strongest event, I think we're starting on, and ending on one of our strongest events, kind of bookending with our number 1 rankings, bars and vault. I think that's very good for us. You know, I'm excited about the rotation. I know that gaining momentum is something our team has talked about, and getting it, you know, behind us, and that's definitely something we're going to be dialed in on as well.
As for number 2 ranked OU men's gymnastics, their road to the top spot begins tomorrow. The Sooners take on Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, California, and Springfield. This second qualifying session begins at 6 p.m. And both squads are getting an upgrade. As part of OU Giving Day, OU gymnastics alum Michael Wilson donated $1 million to the programs, aiding the $12 million renovation to the Gymnastics Training Center. OU Nightly Sports' Hallie Moss caught up with OU baseball before their weekend series against Texas Tech.
From coaching Pony League and Little League teams together to now coaching against each other in collegiate baseball, OU head coach Skip Johnson and Texas Tech head coach Tim Tadlock have been through it all. And while the brotherly love stays true off the field, when it's game week, it's all business.
It's always fun. I mean, the camaraderie we have, we talk on the phone just about every morning except for probably starting tomorrow. And we won't talk, you know, the next 3 or 4 days. But he's like a brother to me, so I mean, it's fun beating him. I mean, no different than brotherly love. And we're not going to eat dinner together. If we do, it might be pretty bloody if we ate dinner together.
The Sooners have struggled throughout this season, keeping players healthy and keeping the starting lineup on the field.
It's one guy a weekend. Yeah. I mean, it's probably for the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks has been a guy going out for the weekend that we haven't had. We really hadn't had the whole starting lineup since maybe the 4th or 5th game maybe of the year.
The Sooners welcome the Red Raiders right here in Norman for a weekend series starting on Friday. Reporting from Elldale Mitchell Park, Hallie Moss, OU Nightly.
And in last night's Thunder game, Pelicans' Brandon Ingram makes the bucket for the lead. Then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gives the Thunder the edge for the 123-118 win. Up next for OKC, another play-in game against the Timberwolves Friday night.
40-minute basketball game. Both teams were going to want the game extremely bad. And it came down to habits and making plays. I think we know who we are. And we won some big basketball games this year. And we know what's won us those games, and we try to stay to that identity throughout the crowd and the environment.
Sydney Bailey, a Thunder win tomorrow would make them the first 10-seed team in history to make the playoffs.
Well, we definitely hope they'll make those playoffs. A new lawnmower has made its way to Virginia and expected to be more environmentally friendly.
And after the break, we'll tell you how this lawnmower covers 40 acres a day.
I'm Becca Yanez at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The Justice Department is going to the U.S. Supreme Court after a lower court ruling allowed limited access to the abortion pill mifepristone. Officials say they are asking for the High Court for an emergency order to stop the lower court's ruling from taking effect. Bailey, Sydney, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Becca. Lawnmowers are no more for a solar farm in Central Virginia.
And instead, sheep are taking charge of all the landscaping needs.
The sheep eat more than 40 acres of grass a day across 5 solar farms.
The farm found sheep were more environmentally friendly because they say emissions by lawnmowers. And we're going to get one last look at the weather. Eli, please tell me this rain is going to sweep these allergies away.
Well, gosh, I hope so. It seems like forever since we've seen rain, and it's showing on the allergy report. Personally, I've been battling allergies the last 2 weeks, but the trees are looking at very high for that allergy report. But we do have a chance of rain going into tomorrow. I do have it at a 20% risk because it is very conditional. And keep in mind, if storms do fire up, they will be severe. So be weather aware. Now going to that 7-day forecast, severe weather risk on Friday, quiet few couple of days, but a beautiful week overall. Ladies.
Thanks, Eli, and thank you for watching OU Nightly.
Be sure to tune in every weekend live at 4:30. Good night.